jumps in with the grand slam. Do something right now. Sonic Wave is there. It's getting lower and lower. Oh! They've stolen it. Mammoth have got the Baron.
The banger. It's here. Look, you've been waiting all night, but you've seen a lot of action. I've been entertained with everything going on. Look, we had the big man up top, Bio, dying, giving his life just to secure a Baron for Kevy. And if that is not selflessness, well, I don't know what is. But he's not playing for Pentanet anymore, and Pentanet are going up against Peace. It's a different new look roster for both teams, and again, it's that chance for both to find themselves some glory. Pentanet having a look at this roster, they have definitely been tightening up the nuts and bolts, trying to climb that ladder back up. Praedyth, he's given us a whole bunch of exclusives in the interviews, but look, in the Rift, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, Skip.
It certainly does, yeah, as you say, recent runner form. Look, Diana Yasuo, it's broken, let's run it back. They go say, topside, Winter, do you feel like being a bruiser that's actually going to pop off and act like a carry? Sure, lock in set, have your fun there. And then, you know, if they don't want the mid-jungle to try and steal these pentakills all the time, then they'll say to Praedyth, hey, lock in that Zeri, run across the map, get absolutely ratty with it, because you know you got Rogue only 2 steps behind you, ready to back you up. So this is a team that plays, in my opinion, the most aggressive in the league. They've got in-house fighting in the sense that they're looking to try and steal kills from one another. They're that aggressive.
Yeah, a couple of thieves lurking through those jungles. Now, let's start talking Peace, though. Kitty, lay down the law. Peace, they're pretty damn good. They were undefeated up until this week. How are they going to win today?
I am the designated Peace fan on the desk, and let's talk about their performance last night. So we actually saw Api have quite a shaky performance on that rise, especially with the roam timers against Mammoth. So I'm not sure if they're actually built up to shape for tonight's match against PGG, because PGG have been popping off with those top mid and jungle plays. With that set Diana Yasuo, they are absolutely destroying teams.
Yeah, and look, last time they went head-to-head, we did see Peace take the cake with a huge performance. This was one of the first ones where we saw Cheon like start to pop off, right? Start hit his stride. I believe it's also the one where we saw Lisa do a whole bunch of damage, a whole bunch of saves as well, really making PGG look lost as they did go deep into the game. But again, it was one of those long ones, Skimmy. It was a very close affair, and I'm hoping for something like that again today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, after you sort of get in between Order and Chiefs, you know, you're hoping that you're going to see the exact same taste between these two teams. You know, these are your 2021 inaugural LCO champions from Split 1 to 2. They were the names on your mind all the time. And yes, while some players have remained, new people have been brought in, but it's the same old pedigree. Success is all they're striving for, and you're just having to see who's going to get that cutting edge, who's going to get the bragging rights, right? Because, I mean, if Peace find a 2-0, that's always going to be living in PGG's mind of like, well, what have we done wrong? Why are we in this position? So it's going to be a banger.
Well, that is a great question, and you've heard our thoughts on the matchup. Some of them, we've still got more to say, but fortunately, you can hear what the players think about going into today's match as well.
The match versus Peace, it was a little bit disheartening because I definitely got the feeling that we were the better team.
Last time, we forgot to ban Corki, but this time it should be an easy win.
I'm excited to see Balkan in my lane on level 3. Turns out that the Korean junglers just like to gank top. Yeah, okay, I'm ready. Just come.
We're not care about if we lose one game. I think if we lose, it's good for us because we can find out why we lose. Yeah, we're not feeling any pressure, I think.
Tian is a really good player, but in this meta, top lane is useless, so I don't really care.
The boys at Peace, you had your moment in the stars. You got to see us cry on Twitter, but I'm sick of crying on Twitter, man. We've got to make a redemption arc somehow, and dethroning you boys is the way to do it.
I think it's 50-50. Whoever does better pick ban is going to win. Or we're going to ban Corki this time, so watch out.
I think last time that we beat you guys, I felt kind of guilty because you guys only had like 2 days to scrim, but now that you guys have had time to scrim, there's no more excuses. You guys should be the super team that everyone's hyped you guys up to be.
Well, on that note, I've just found out that Pentanet have got the key, you know, ban Corki. That's all it's going to take. And look, I think I know someone that's going to have something to say about that. Fortunately, I've got Appy here down on the side lane, so let's jump on in. Appy, how's it feel knowing you're not going to be able to play Corki today?
I mean, I don't even think they're going to ban Corki because he's already like received a nerf. I think it's a pretty big nerf for
Okay.
Cookie, so yeah.
Well, we'll see if Winterer is just bluffing. You know, I've heard you're pretty good at poker. Now, I need to know, how do you control Dean? Do you let him just do his own thing? Does anyone sort of point him in the right direction? Or do you just let him unleash?
Miss Ian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much he's unleashed all the time. He do whatever he want. We pretty much everyone's doing whatever we want. That's, yeah, it's in the com was pretty obvious because we're gonna yelling in different language. Melissa will say Chinese, and no one will understand. Like, I mean, Ian and Beats will not understand what we're saying, and they can just do what they want.
Yep.
Okay, that's pretty much how it is.
Oh well, chaos. It's worked. Look, you got enough dubs on the board already. You need a few more to make it to playoffs. But of course, last time I spoke to you, you got fed dinner by Lisa live, which was interesting. But it is actually National Hot Breakfast Month. So I need to know, what's the go-to? Because you've been a monster in mid, and how do you keep yourself energized?
Yeah, well, it's already been a few weeks playing mid. Just like after 6 games or 7 games, maybe 7 games, just keep remind myself never pick Silas again. That's pretty much it.
Okay, but what do you eat for
I
breakfast?
can't play the champ. For breakfast, I don't have breakfast, man. I wake up at 6.
Okay, well, look, the first meal of the day in my book is breakfast. So what do you have? You can't go into these games unfueled.
Well, like I'm different, so I don't really eat a meal.
Okay.
I eat some snack, and I drink water. That's pretty much it. And I probably will eat dinner like 2 a.m. I mean, that's my first meal of the day. Before that, I just eat some snack.
All right, well, I think we're, theoretically, my day finishes when I sleep, even if it's, the 17th. To me, it's still the 16th, etc. Now, thank you very much for that. Staying hydrated is very good. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you jump on into mid lane. Good luck in this matchup today.
Yeah, thank you.
He's reinventing the meta, Mac. I mean, we heard about fasting center, but now you got a fasting mid laner. I mean,
Glad to see the boys haven't changed.
It's taking a commitment to the game. You got to keep your head strapped. Unreal.
Well, look, why do you look so disappointed in this one, Kitty?
So I've actually been to the Peace House quite a lot of times. I'm their content creator, but I don't know if it's still the same. People sleep at around 6 or 5 a.m.
Yep, pure degenerates. That's fine. We've been there. We've all been there. We're gamers.
Yep.
Hopefully they're charged up on sleep for tonight's game because they are going up against PGG.
Very true. Now, speaking of, let's have a look at the predictions. Let's see which way we've all gone. Kitty, you've gone for PGG. No. Oh. Finally! It's happened. Separation. Skimmy believing in the Split 1 champs of last year, and Kitty.
Well, you know what's funny, Mac?
Over to Peace.
You know what's really, really funny? So I know that Kitty copies my homework, so I said, this is one that I know you won't copy for sure. So I locked in pentanet.gg. I said, up the boys. I'm a big fan of LCK. She's gone LPL, so it's as easy as that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I'm kind of surprised that Kitty did go with Peace, only because I thought she was giving us hints earlier. She did disappear into the Matrix, and of course, we've got a dragon going up against Internet. And that's all I'm seeing here. So I thought maybe there'd be something sly happening, but no, you've got Rusty on your side. So do you want to justify Rusty's pick and maybe yours as well?
So Rusty and I have gone with Peace because let's talk about their first ever matchup in the split. We saw a really clean early game coming out of Peace. They had a bit of a rocky mid lane to late game with the Rogue on Rel, but I think Peace do still have the upper hand if they keep RP off Silas.
Okay, so if that's all it's going to take, well, look, Appy did say he was having a couple of nightmares about Silas, so we'll see if that comes back or if it's going to slide through. By the way, look, it is perfectly time to do that because Champ Select is ready, so let's jump on in. I'm going to go learn how to do the English language, and you guys enjoy the game.
Oh, well, fantastic. Let me know how you get on there, Matt, because you're doing a fantastic job already. And we'll keep you occupied on the screen for the meantime as we do load in. Peace opting for blue side. They want to try and get themselves that first pick priority. And I know yourself and I, Kitty, were talking about where that priority might go. We're feeling like it might just be a handshake in the bot lane for those carries. I feel like the big focus is probably going to be between the junglers or the top laners to get the best counter pick.
So I already see the Diana being banned out from Balkan because Balkan's actually played Diana 3 times this split so far. So it's pretty normal to actually see the Diana being banned out. We also see the Caitlyn and Lulu. Beats' go-to enchanter has been banned out, so I don't know what Beats is going to pull up his sleeve. Aphelios is open, meaning Peace will take that for their side. The Riven hover for Tien, well, against Tien actually.
Yeah, they're hovering towards each other, right? You saw Tien hovering the J4 at Balkan, and then Balkan now hovering the Riven back towards them. I imagine this would be a J4. It would be, you know, the go-to that's given him so much so far. Gwen can obviously dash inside that and make life easy and just lock you down big time, but they're going to go for that handshake of the AD carries.
Jinx versus Aphelios. So we still have the Thresh open for these two hypercarriers, giving them that a little bit of extra mobility with the W from Thresh. I'm expecting Peace to actually take away the Thresh here. Beast does play a little bit of Thresh, so it's not out of the blue. Jace being picked up by, oh well, they're hovering it, but we have seen Tien play 2 or 3 games of Jace so far. 2 games, he was actually weak-sided where he went 0-3, but he still brought back the game with his long-range poke on the Jace.
Yeah, and we have seen a few Jaces, right, go down even like 0-6 in lane, but still become, you know, an absolute menace with what their poke can offer. Tahm Kench now going to be locked in, so Peace showing inspiration for what Chiefs have done earlier today, and it worked out phenomenally, right? I mean, those flash devours were life-saving, game-changing.
So this is a blind pick Tahm with the Aphelios. The only Tahm Kench game we've seen from Beats was their loss against Kinga, and Beats didn't actually seem that great at Tahm Kench yet, but they are, PGG is hovering a Yumi, and that's a Yumi locked in.
That's
Any
why Rogue's
enchanter?
leaning back. Look at him.
He's gonna go cook something.
That's Yumi gameplay in a nutshell, right? Hands on the keyboard, you've fallen asleep in the chair, you've had enough. Why is my team drafting me Yumi?
So any enchanter into Tahm Kench is actually really good. The enchanter gets the free scale, while the Tahm Kench doesn't have that kill threat in the early game to actually end your scaling. So we do see the Jarvan banned out by PGG. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting actually. As you say, banning it against themselves, you would have imagined that well, kind of given the opportunity would run it back, but perhaps it's a formula that Peace would have studied far too much and doesn't want to give away any easy opportunity. Perhaps got something spicy lined up instead. My question now goes to, what do Peace ban? Because knowing that Tien's locked in this Jace, surely now all the attention goes towards Winter.
They're gonna definitely ban out the top laners just so Tien gets a better matchup in top, but what I'm wondering is where is this Gwen going? This Gwen could be flex top or mid, or even mid lane coming out of Yu. I have caught him playing some Gwen mid in solo queue, so it's not impossible. Lee Sin being banned out from Lisa. Lisa's got some pretty good games on that Lee Sin in the past few games. The Tryndamere banned.
Been gone, so yeah, big emphasis on making sure that the flex for this Gwen should be so, I suppose, like tunneled elsewhere. They don't want to make sure that's going into a laning state. Graves also now locked in, so if we're going to hedge bets, perhaps that's going top side. If anything from last game is to be derived from, perhaps it's even mid, you just don't know.
This Graves could be flex in all 3 lanes as well, we don't know. It could be a Graves mid. Ryze. So we actually saw Api have a really good performance on the Ryze mid. I believe he was, other than the ulti at tier 2
forget
tower.
about that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can't forget about it because that was quite a throw from Api. But other than that, he is quite the stable player on the Ryze. With Singe being hover, you know, Arcane's the best.
Yes, how are they going to lock in the Zen? So a very similar, well, I should say similar, an identical mid-top side from their game against Mammoth last night, right? The Ryze, the Zen, and the Jace. Only difference now being their bot, so should be feeling pretty well rehearsed on how this all orchestrates itself. Whereas PGG, final pick, we thought it would all come down to Winterer. Question is that his pick?
Irelia into the Jace. Interesting. So we actually have 2 champions that go immune in the jungle. So we're going to see who dodges more skill shots coming out of both teams. And PGG did leave the counter pick for Winter because the most versatile lane in this matchup will be the top side. We had both ADCs picked very early in the draft, so they're just going to have a handshake like you said, Skimmy. With the Yumi, they're going to happily scale into the late game. But this Irelia, this is our first time seeing an Irelia, I believe.
It is. And it's exciting times, quite honestly. You're thinking, who would have played it? And we've got a lot of proficient bruisers in this league. Was almost tempted to see some mid laners play, champions, or sorry, individuals like Kisei have played it in the past, but we've yet to see that skill check truly take place yet. Instead, if this is confirmed, it's going to be Yuri showing us what's up in that mid lane.
Yuri with the Irelia mid. So we've done some stat checking for Yuri. He's actually played a lot of Irelia when he was still competing in the Brazil League. This is going to be our first time seeing Yuri on the Irelia, so we are quite excited to see what he has in store for us. But let's talk about the comps from each team. So we have a scaling bot lane coming out of PGG with the Uni and Jinx. They don't actually have hard CC engage for these team fights, so I'm gonna be wondering if they're gonna be playing of Yuri ults or if they're gonna be playing of the Uni ults.
Yeah.
But looking at Peace's comp, we have Lisa and Tom Kench that can ult in. We have Rise with the CC on his end. So Lisa being the main engage will give them a clear indication of how to play the fights. But let's talk about this top matchup. So it's going to be range versus range. We've seen that Winter has built, well, not Winter in specifically, but we have seen these Graves top build Hullbreaker, where Jaces can't actually build Hullbreaker. So how will the game play out once Graves picks up that Hullbreaker and Tien has to play for these fights?
That's a good question, right? And it does also ask us, where will the ganks go? Because if you want to make sure the Hullbreaker is there, does that just mean Winter is left on his own? 1,400 units, it's a pretty large range, and if anything to go by was of yesterday, if you're keeping a keen eye on the lane, you should be actually able to spot that Armor and MR disappear and decay if there is a gank on the horizon. It's not common that we see these level 1 ganks, but we're going to see one here. Praetor insta-flashed away. He could be in a lot of trouble right now.
The Ghost Flash from Praetor. That's a Ghost Jinx.
That really does hurt. That hurts a whole bunch. He's gone topside in the brush. Lost double summoners. Huge advantage, only 1 minute in. And you have to wait and see what this means for the context of the game. Whilst we do load in, let's check in with the man, the myth, the legend himself in Menulog, who is returning for a second day in a row.
Hi.
Welcome back, Menulog. It's a rematch against your biggest rival. So what would you say is going to give you the edge tonight?
I think we have better dropped. If we have better laning phase, we literally win this game.
Well, we know it's obviously better drafts because it's yourself. Laning phase, though, were you surprised by the Aurelia, for instance?
Yeah. Like, if we play better in early game in laning phase, I think it's easy for us.
To just win early and you win late. I love it. The confidence is there. Love your work as always there, Menulog. Wish you boys the best of luck.
Early the game.
Just win. Just win as a whole.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, we've got the game plan. We're going to load into this one, and I'll hand it over to you, Kitty.
So Praetor's burning his double sums this early into the game with Beats playing the Tahm Kench is actually really dangerous for this Jinx. We have the Xin Zhao who has the flash to potentially kill this Jinx, and the Yuumi isn't going to help that much in terms of a gank. So this Gwen needs to play around this Jinx for the time being.
Certainly does, and it's a bit of a scary lane at the stage really for Praetor, right? We've already touched on the fact there are no summoners, but Rogue's going to be kind of careful how he looks to try and jump on and off because there is the punishment that Beats can deliver.
We see both junglers starting their top side, and they are all pathing towards bot because they do know that bot lane is currently the most volatile lane with Jinx without the sum. There's most likely going to be a scuttle 3v3 as both junglers path towards this bot lane, but Peace do have the upper hand because PGG Praetor does not have those sums available. He steals it!
He's stolen it. He's picked up that blue buff. Thank you very much for that one. Balkan is just going to get slotted as well. Hit the white flag because that's first blood.
I think he was going to go for the dive, but he just saw Balkan being 1 HP for that blue buff, so he just did a quick drive-by. I don't know.
Yuri's coming in. He had to. Otherwise, there was a potential dive on the cards, even though it is only 3 minutes into this game. Best possible start there for Lisa.
We do have the red buff refreshing for Lisa, and Gwen's gonna go for the top scuttle now while catching this mid wave, because Irelia did have to TP to bot just to stop Peace from diving onto that flashless Jinx. So this Yuri is down, I believe, 2 waves currently, and Gwen is down a scuttle, but he did catch up with that mid experience.
Oh, Predator's in trouble. He's
Looking
being
for
jumped
his
upon,
dive.
but it may be a little bit too much at this stage of the game to go much further than that. Certainly reminding him that you don't have summoners and we can punish you, but it does feel like a lot of this has snowballed out
gonna go
of
again?
control. Lisa is reminding him that nothing in this life is free, that jungle, even though it's very early on, may not belong to you.
Okay, Beast just being a little bit of a pest here, but let's talk about the Yuumi sums and why Jinx decided to go Ghost. So you actually don't need the exhaust in particular for this match, because you have 2 long-range carries coming from the from Tian and Cheon. You can't actually the only person you can exhaust will be the Xin Zhao, but it's not enough for the Yuumi to actually take exhaust this game. So I really like the heal and ignite coming out of Rogue. But this Ghost on ADC, I actually brought up this conversation where why don't ADCs go Ghost?
It's a good point. Obviously, certainly offers you more lockdown, as if getting excited wasn't enough, right? Definitely going to hit Mach 10 and be boosting around this map, picking up every single kill that is possible. Just needs to reach that point of the game. I'm quite excited. I mean, you already touched on, like, you know, which ultimate's going to be more crucial. Is it going to be Yuri's ult or Yuumi's ult for that engage? But quite honestly, I mean, Rogue is going to have a field day here. He can literally jump on any character in this game from the side of PGG, and it all works.
PGG does have a lot of carries on their draft, but we do see Lisa and Beats going for the Wolves, doing some counter jungling. Beats is just constantly hovering Lisa because this Jinx and Yuumi lane don't have the kill threat on Cheon for Beats to actually be concerned for Cheon dying in this lane. A lot of pressure coming out of the support and jungle from Peace.
There's Dragon.
I mean, with the start given to Peace, you know, 1 kill on Lisa and 2 sums burned by Praetor, this Dragon is just automatically given to Peace. We do see Gwen getting Gromp in top though. Really deep for the jungle of PGG.
Question is, will he get punished for that? Yuri's fresh off a reset.
RP is pushing in this wave to prepare for the dive on bot lane.
He's on his way. He's got the Realm Warp, so nowhere is safe right now. And given that Lisa is
Rogue
still
literally
hit,
ditched Praetor.
yeah,
Look at
they're
him.
gone. I mean, they're walking over Vision, but that's not going to deter them. He's literally going to reset on Vision as well, saying, you can't walk back to the wave because I can just dummy back.
What is Rogue doing?
A 4-man collapse, and now Praetor is on his own. Rogue is said good luck.
Oh, okay. Rogue, bit of an e-girl sitting in the back.
What a frustrating start here for Praetor, right? I mean, from the very get-go in this game, he's been under fire, and
Maybe Rogue is actually asleep.
oh, well, maybe. I mean, we've seen some crazy things with these Yuumi montages, right? People playing with their feet, playing with steering wheels, playing with everything. So maybe he just said, look, in this occasion, mate, it's not worth me dying with you. Perhaps it would have been enough for the, you know, adaptive power for him to try and take down Beats, because he was very low from those turret shots, but just didn't happen.
Praetor actually burnt Ghost while he was squashed in between that little gap from the tower and the wall. I doubt he had any space to actually use the Ghost, so quite a waste from Praetor. Now I respect the hustle though, you maybe could have ran out. Lisa and RP is actually making up for the lack of synergy they had last night against Mammoth. They're absolutely popping off with these duo roams.
Yeah, so far so good. not the same level of trolling that we saw yesterday where they were trying to take every different check in the game. They're going to go top side, look to try and take out Winter. Can Winter find a trade back? He's looking to try and go towards Tien. He hits the dash, he hits the flash, he's got the armor, but he doesn't have to sustain. His health bar is gone. Yuumi is top, he's on Balkan's head. Balkan's saying, it's time to ghost. We're going in. Are we Ghostbusters? Can we claim kills? There's a projecting Proctor, and well, he is gone.
You know, I would actually take that because Gwen popped Ghost just for Yuumi to collect that kill, and Tien TAP to safety.
In this game, Kitty, what would you prefer? Would you prefer AP Yuumi or just standard support?
We already have a Gwen who is quite well off on her own being the solo AP, so I would expect a Moonstone coming out of this Yuumi because you do need to protect either the Gwen or the Jinx. I mean, you have so many carry options. The Gwen, Irelia, Jinx all benefit really well from that Moonstone healing. I wouldn't be surprised if Rogue does go for like a max heal. Or an E-max on the Yuumi. Just to provide that extra sustain on his carry so they can fight just a little longer.
Fair point. Give them all the buffs, right? Sense or whatever it may be, Grievous Wounds. You just sit on everybody's head and say, let's go roam. Let's get kills. And that's what they found there. They needed that. That was the first kill of the game in this one for PGG. Fast approaching the 10-minute mark as Peace has certainly stood strong, stand firm, and said this is the way we want to play the game. Because we're doing it again. These two are happy. That wants to watch. Vanguard's edge goes out nice and early, but can he dash for the resets? There's no minions nearby. Not enough health left in the tank.
Lisa and Afi are just taking over this game. They are going to drop the Herald mid, securing at least... Oh, the Jinxel actually denies that.
All this roaming though, it's hurting Predator that much further, right? Because now he's down 20 CS. And the total gold graph, it's not kind to Pentanet at the moment. It really isn't. They've got a lot of carries on their team. A very similar story to the game we just saw.
We do see both mid lane and the ADC picking up multiple plates coming into this game. Pretty sad for Praetus because he did get dove. Well, he was pressured for the majority of the game. Rogue does not look happy.
No. Well, considering what his normal champion pool is, you see the Alistairs, you see the Rels, you see the engaged champions, right? Like even, I saw posted on socials just before, right? Stop playing Aftershock engaged supports. Be a Chad, be like me, locking Glacial. We're locking members down. Maybe I'm not as tanky, but look what it does for the rest of the team. You're not going to see that on Yuumi.
So the most frustrating thing for a Yuumi player is that you actually can't decide a lot of the engage for these fights. You just kind of have to hope your carries are good enough that you guys win the fight and just press E. That's a downside for the Yuumi. Are we back in the game? We are.
It's a good point, right? You very much are at the behest of whatever your team can do. But I suppose at this level, on this team, you're going to have that trust.
I mean, you have to. Third pick Yuumi, so this game is up to Yuri's Irelia. I really want to see Yuri's Irelia do really well. Both junglers are hovering mid, Lisa with the Herald available for these plates. Dragon is up. Both top laners don't have TP, so this is going to be a 4v4. And we do have Gale Force picked up for Cheon.
Very early mythic item complete. Eclipse is also found there in the top side for Tien, as Winter has opted for the Hull Breaker. What's to be expected? Final chapter goes that nice early. Chen turns his attention to the side and goes to Praetor in the 1v1. Forces out his flash and now turns back into the lane as the Super Mega Defro comes across, but nobody's low enough for them to farm. That's Cheon with a double, and he orchestrated that beautifully.
They decided to fight after taking the dragon coming out of Balkan. Cheon had red-white, so it was really easy to actually just... He had purple gun to actually root the Jinx on the side. She came late to the fight, so she was completely separated. Jinx had to burn the flash. So that's a lot of the DPS gone from the fight. Gwen is immune, but it doesn't matter when you have a red-white Aphelios on your face. quite a one-sided fight. I don't know why PGG decided to take that fight in the first place.
Frustration. You can only imagine, right? Given formula has been, we're always crushing teams in these first 15 minutes. It's not worked that way this time. And now you ask the question, you know, what does it look like when they play from behind, especially into a team like Peace? Do they find themselves in hot water again? Similar situation to their last encounter with one another.
We see that angry gaming coming out of PGG. 350 bounty on Cheon. With Rift Herald spawning in 1 minute, where Jinx doesn't have sums for this fight.
Big consideration going into this one. Might just see Ro continue to roam elsewhere. Can't be top though because of Graves' itemization. It has to be through Balkan and Yuri. You need to see them find those moments, but even they are struggling. They're both 0-2.
So Cheon actually currently has the green and white guns, perfect for this Herald that they're going to contest. Especially with the amount of pressure they have from RP and Lisa.
That's going to be the first turret. So correct weapon setup, as you praise. That's what you really want to see when the Moonlight Vigil comes out and you just kill them from a million miles away. But in this occasion, it means that you can shred through those turrets just like butter. One turret into two, the pressure being respected, being found, and laying down the groundwork for what was a very solid start here in this game for Peace.
The scaling from this Aphelios and Ryze have been escalated because they did pick up those early kills from those fights. And this Herald has been pink warded by Peace. It's really hard for Balkan to walk into these objectives because you have a Yuumi and the Irelia is always on the opposite side of the map. Oh, they're gonna look for a pink.
They're gonna go for it. They're doing it on vision, but they don't care. The ghost goes out. The projectile is there. The final chapter on top of his head. They're gonna look for this kill. Who picks it up? It's gonna be Balkan. He's back in the game. He's got the Nash's too. And it's only gonna be one wave denied here.
We do see the Hull Breaker coming from the Graves, but like I said, the only CC PGG has is that Yuumi or maybe even the Irelia stun. A TP coming out of RP.
Do they answer back? Appy has flash. He hits the TP and then runs it away, saying nothing is going to be denied from my top laner here.
This is completely off topic, but which Yuumi skin do you think is the best one?
It's a good question, actually. I think B Yuumi is pretty insane, especially if you play with Kog'Maw.
Really cute.
Right? I think I actually unlocked Heartseeker Yuumi from one of my crates. So, you know, whatever tilts the enemy more.
Whatever tilts the enemy. I think picking Yuumi just tilts the enemy.
Yeah, it's far enough, isn't it?
So we do see Yuri securing that scuttle just for the dragon spawns in 40 seconds. We do see both ADCs also going for the Gale Force. And Yuumi picking up that Moonstone.
Yeah, so good call by yourself as to what they needed. As you say, obviously a lot of carry, so it does make sense in the context of all things. They give them a lot more staying power. They can have these extended skirmishes, which a lot of these champions will thrive in.
This is currently 5k ahead. Most of the gold going into the mid jungle. Mid jungle and ADC. Yeah. We actually see 3 members of PGG hovering this top side while Peace go in for the dragon. They're just completely giving over this dragon to Lisa.
Yeah, certainly are. I mean, he's just on a mission of farming your jungle, farming your characters, and then just rotating from Herald to the next Drake. It's just PvE gaming with a touch of interaction with the enemy team. Second Drake is confirmed. It's a Mountain Soul we're playing for. First man and Drake goes the way of Peace.
We do see the blue side constantly pinging the mid and top. They do want to play for this Baron that is coming up in 2 minutes. Well, they want to set up vision for the Baron at least. We see Cheon 180 CS and RP 190 CS at 17 minutes.
very far ahead of their respective lane opponents. Huge lead. The closest right now would be in top lane, whereas the biggest source of strength right now would be for Balkan if you're a PGG fan. But Peace definitely in the driving seat with that gold lead. And it's only going to continue to get bigger as they will summon that Herald topside and look to complete the trio of all outer turrets.
We do see Winterer with the Hullbreaker going for that bot tower bounty. But there's just no hard engage coming out of PGG, so they can't actually force this tower from going down, or save this tower from going down.
Graves.
Try and go. Oh, the
Winter's
CP.
coming in. Tien doesn't know yet. He hasn't actually hit the TP. Smoke screen goes out. Locks in place too. Dashing away there from what could have been the beats engage. Givus Dive will not connect on this occasion. Flashing forward, Yuri at the Vanguard's edge, looking for the resets, looking to try and lock as many members down with max stacks as Aurelia. The only thing he finds is a quick and early grave. Double kill for Appy. Flaming in the damage graph and a Realm Warp, because where are you going? There is no escaping. We have a Rise, we have a Tarm, and you don't have enough damage to get any kind of trade back.
This is where we see the issue where Winter opted into the TP while he builds a Hullbreaker, so he completely loses all his stats when he does come into these fights. While compared to Tien, he's built Eclipse, so it's real. So his damage is going to be a lot more significant compared to the Graves. And something that is real. Ooh, so we're gonna look for a pick here.
Yes, Tien overstayed on this occasion. He's got a 3-level lead into Balkan, so I think he's even squared that one up and said, I know I like to be aggressive, but maybe that's just a bridge too far.
So I like everyone to focus on Lisa. He has the Gore Drinker in hand, and with Winterer flanking from behind, we do have Yuri also getting a 3-man ult, I believe. Look at Lisa's health. He goes from probably 1 HP with that Gore Drinker to... He didn't use it! Oh my god, he's just so tanky. Well, my bad on that. But we do see the Ghost popped for Jinx, contributing not that much because he doesn't have a reset. I'm assuming this Jinx tech where you take Ghost is going to be... You're going to be a Zeri, but you do need those resets on the Jinx.
100%. And I think we identified that nice and early on, right? That it's going to be a case of if he gets that one kill, you're keeping the Get Excited active between, the summoners. But talking of those summoners, look how many were burnt in that previous skirmish. Like, that was a big point in the game where you're thinking, if anything, PGG, whilst they are down 6k, are saying we need to keep this close. And everything being burnt, it still feels like it favors Peace.
3 of the members on Peace have the bounty in hand. These solo laners from PGG just aren't stepping up. They aren't. They have 0. Well, they have 1 KP on the Graves, 0 on Yuri. Being flanked by the Tahm Kench.
On his own, and he has to hit the ultimate nice and early. He just gets consumed by the Tahm Kench into the belly. That's a feast that they can devour. 10 kills to 2 now. 4 members of Peace rock up to bot lane and claim their 4th turret of the game. PGG seriously lagging behind. Not a kill and not a turret.
PGG is playing from behind. We haven't seen this in quite a while because they have had outstanding performances, especially from Balkan. But going into this game, 0-3 on Yuri and 0-3 on Winterer. Kratos getting soloed by Tien.
That's rough. And that really is a summary of the game so far here for PGG. They have claimed an objective bounty topside. They've taken a turret. Their first of the game. Another shutdown found here by Balkan. The Ghost is active and he is a little bit immune, but comes out of that inner circle and into the sanctum of success. A double kill now for Balkan. The only one shining a beacon of hope, a light at the end of the tunnel as the 2 Korean imports finally find their mark.
They pick up 2 bounties and potentially a Baron. Jace can go for some poke, but I doubt they'll be able to actually stop this Baron. We do have TP from Api though, so if Tien can poke enough and delay the Baron, we will see Api TPing into this fight.
It's going to hurt. Miramana has just been completed. This one accelerated shot blast is going to hit like a truck. Well, they only hit one, so hold that for a second.
Smite's been...
They have to. They surely have to go for this one. They've connected. The rocket comes out nice and early, and Yuri is dead. He sacrificed his life just to make sure that Peace wouldn't collapse upon the Baron pit.
A ray of hope coming in hot for PGG. Collecting 2 bounties, well, 3 bounties, including the objective from Baron. Cheon remaining the only one deathless.
Another good game for Cheon. Certainly is. And, you know, he is going from strength to strength to strength, but it just feels like Peace AD carries, they're just built different.
What are they feeding? Oh, did you see that photo of Cheon on Twitter where he had like a glass of water and he had a chopstick, one single chopstick?
There was a million questions and I got no answers. And I was trying to run the numbers in my head thinking, what would a chopstick be used to... Do you know? Did you ask him?
I asked him. I sent the photo to him and he was like, what's wrong with me drinking water? I'm like, why do you have the chopstick? And he actually explained to me that he has some of that honey in the water to make that honey water. So he wants the chopsticks to actually stir the honey into the water. So it might look a bit awkward, but it's not what you think.
Surely just a metal straw. It's a 2-in-1 solution, right? It does the same thing, but you can actually enjoy it in that regard anyway. Who cares? He's making his own rules, his own meta. He certainly has in this game as well. 5-0-3, the only one with a bounty, and it's soon to be a 1K shutdown.
Peace Cheon having 10k in the lead with RP following closely behind, both sitting on 10k. Really ahead compared to their respective laners. We're gonna actually take trading the bot tier 1 for the top tier 2 tower, which in my opinion isn't actually worth for PGG. But can Tian hold onto that tower against this Gwen and Yumi?
What do you think that is? Is that just based on where the dragon positions?
I don't even think it's up to the dragon. I think they just wanted to play towards Winter that has the hull breaker, which is really puzzling.
Yeah.
Baron is left. 30 seconds left. Kratos is going to look for this mid tower.
I was just going to say, just comment quickly there, Kitty. I mean, look at the Baron. In terms of a score, they've only got 200 gold of it. Not a pretty picture. Beautiful buffer there on the Aurelia stun. You flashed into it. Yuri finds that kill again, and they jump in again. Realm Walk backs them up. He flashes across the wall into the waiting arms of Praetor, who's got the ghost active, and then gets knocked up by Beats. He read him like a book. He burnt the ghost, and now you need to run.
Pop the ghost, Praetor! It's already gone! Okay, he's out, I think.
What a trap. I mean, they take out Tien. That in its own, fantastic, but they just lose so many again.
To be fair, Tien did know that Gwen and Yumi were still hovering around that bot side because his team did trade for the top tower. It's a bit greedy of Tien actually face-checking that, but he does have the boys to back him up. And they all focused on Yuri, even though he flashed over 1 HP. RP decided to just focus him down, even with the Gwen in front of his face. Respects to RP. So we have a replay. Tien just completely gets caught face-checking. Really nice stun coming out of Yuri. Lisa follows up, he misses his W. And I don't know who has the Randuins, but someone popped the Randuins there. And the only CC coming out of PGG is that Yumi ult. Their main carry, Yuri, is already dead because he tanked a lot of damage from the Aphelios. And this green-white.
Too strong.
With the Collector again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this time he's ahead. So it looks nice, right? It looks so good when you're ahead. Random Wins, as you mentioned, has been picked up here by Lisa as his second item choice. So literally is a moving fridge. Will take 0 damage, especially from all these AD sources. But it feels like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Kitty, but it almost feels like PGG have taken a note out of Peace's book and said, you know, you draft these comps where there's no clear engage, where you know, you need to be ahead early. Because their comp feels very similar to that.
Well, I think Peace actually learned from their mistakes because they did draft a well, they drafted a good initiator with the Zinja. What was that, Beats?
On the spot.
Okay, bit
He's
of
got dance moves.
Kratos is really low. Really chunked out. Dragon is spawning. This is soul for Peace, so they have to rotate to this quickly. RP is actually caught on the side.
He has been caught. He can't use the Realm Walk to run away. Burns the flash nice and early. Everybody's here. It's a 5v5. Actually, no, it's not. Praetor's stuck in base. He's hit the rocket. Everybody sidesteps it. Do PGG decide to chase? I don't think you want to.
Yuri's on the flank.
Yuri's been spotted. And Shane doesn't have the ultimate. He's just going to run him down with the Gale Force. That's not a picture you see every day. An AD carry killing a bruiser, but in this game, he can afford to do so.
It's not every day that you see an ADC Gale forcing into a mid lane Irelia. That does result in Soul going over to the Peace team.
And is that it? Do you feel like at this stage of the game, Mountain Soul acquired,
Baron's in 10 seconds.
they're just too tanky, surely, at this point in the game?
Kratos with the 0-2-0 and the Ghost Tech. Very limit test.
Let's see, second Baron is on the cards. What can PGG do to answer back to this? They have to contest it, you'd imagine so. Yuri's waiting in base till the very last moment, much like a Corki, but he's playing Aurelia. He's got the TP. There is the flank, up top left.
But Kratos gets knocked up by the Tom Kench with Flash.
Beats absolute MVP right there, beats you hero. Jumping in, knocking up 2. They spread to the sides, and they're both going to fall on down. Yuri says, I'm coming in for the flank, but his team is already dead. Yuri's going to fall on down as well. Realm Warp is there. It's a dummy, it's a bait, because they're all going up top. Philios has pumped the numbers, and Winterer has survived, but they've lost 4.
Kratos was really greedy by holding onto his flash. Even after getting knocked up by that Tom Kench, he ate a Jace bomb as well. So when he flashed away, he was already too low to live for the fight.
That's going to be it.
Honestly, MVP to beats. That was such a good engage from the Tom
100%.
Kench.
100% beats the MVP on that occasion. Oh, but he's going to die, whatever, it happens. Happy days for Peace on their second meeting with PGG. They make it a 2-0.
Looking all really happy. Feeding the water over to Cheon. I believe Lisa's going for a mullet here.
Oh, is he? He's grown it out. Perhaps has he been inspired by Rocco? What a king. What a lad. I do see that Appy's got the drip as well. He's looking dashing as ever. So I guess you look good outside of the game. Then you don't need skins necessarily inside the game. What do you think about that, Mac?
Mate, mullets, they're in, I tell you. Every bloody different game, they got someone wearing them, having them, running them. I don't know what you do with hair. You just have it. It just grows. It sort of hangs there, right? And it a lot of the time looks good. I don't think there's many players that have bad hair. Anyway, that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss the walloping that was Peace and PGG. So, from the get-go, it was looking, pretty even until it wasn't. Peace just kept on being in the right place, getting the right picks. There was a glimmer of hope when, of course, you did see the Koreans going absolutely hammo a little later on, but that was not enough to get PGG back in the game. I thought maybe the Baron, yes, maybe that was going to be enough, but no, it was not. Peace, they just knew where they had to be. Their positioning in the team fights, pretty damn optimal. And look, I just need to ask, I'm looking at a very, very crazy team comp coming in here from PGG. A lot of damage, not a lot of tankiness. So what's the go there, Kitty?
This is quite popular amongst the LCO teams. We've seen it from Mammoth. They've done it multiple times where you dropped 4 carries with no front line. But obviously it didn't work for PGG this game. They didn't have an initiator or a hard engage CC for them to win these fights.
Okay, so nice little theory. Unfortunately, it did not work for PGG. So all wanted to be the carry, but just without that front line, didn't work out today. And Peace, they knew what they had to do. They just had to pretty much unleash the team. Man was just token like a champion, dishing out so much damage.
Jinx did less damage than the Yumi.
Whoa.
Oh, but look, you have to say, I think Praetor was maybe a little bit tilted after that initial ongoing situation that happened in the bot lane early on. Not too sure what that was.
Yes.
It seemed like a bit of something. And we saw Rogue not looking happy in the player cams either. So miscommunication, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll be able to check in with them at some point. But we will definitely be checking in with Peace. And speaking of checking in, just damage across the board. Every single player doing it, Skimmy.
They certainly are. And I mean, it really started from the get-go looking at Lisa. His rotations were fantastic. His tracking of where Balkan was going to be, phenomenal. I mean, it just really set the game up for success in their favor, right? He roams into the enemy blue side. He picks up the solo kill, then they're threatening dives, then he's just returning to the scene of the crime and saying that camp on its respawn timer, it doesn't belong to you. He's getting more and more fed. And then him in tandem with Appy, they're just rotating all across the map and saying that, you know, nowhere was safe. So the avenues for PGG to try and fight back were very, very limited. You sort of saw that in the lack of structures, the lack of kills. Very tough ask, really, for them to try and get back into that one.
Definitely. Now, I did hear from a wise man one time that wise man, of course, was Jews, and it's that you can't bench the Kench, and you can't seat the Beat, but he is sitting down, and I'm going to be chatting to him right now. So, Beats, come on in. Tell me how you're feeling after that dub. How's it feel getting such a convincing win today? Because going into this, we definitely touted it like it looking like a close matchup, but again, Peace just showing you're on another level right now.
I think it just feels pretty normal. I think like most wins right now don't really matter to us because we want to just get better until playoff starts.
Okay, fair enough. Now, look, you've been transitioning into Peace. I did hear from Appy earlier that sometimes they do start to, you know, talk a different language. How's that, you know, dealing with the communication? Do you just play your game, you just rotate, or a lot of the time when it gets hectic, do you just sort of know kind of what's going on?
Yeah, well, I think Appy just speaks Chinese to Lisa, and I think Chaeyoung has also been helping me with a little bit of Chinese, so sometimes I do speak some Chinese with Chaeyoung.
Oh, there you go. Now, you know, you started on the Kench today, and you were doing very good work. Of course, you were tanky as anything, setting up a whole bunch of those kills and then just roaming up the storm. So, you know, do you have any tips out there for any aspiring support mates?
Well, the only tip I had, this game was Remy told me if I ever press W in, he would leave the game. So, that's my only tip.
Ooh. Okay. Well, fortunately, you didn't do that, and you got the dub. So, beautifully played, beautifully done. Now, I need to ask, I believe it is the week of flirting. So, I know you look like a man that's definitely flirted with, you know, people before. Now, I need you to give me, you know, your best icebreaker.
You put me in a pickle. I don't think I can do that. Sorry.
That's a weird way to you know, start a conversation. I'll use that next time I really want to talk to someone who I have no idea who they are. I'll walk up and say, "Hey, you put me in a pickle," and then they'll say why, and I'll say, "I don't know. I just got told it was a really good icebreaker." So look, that's a solid icebreaker. Congratulations on the dub. Yep. Congratulations on making a new probably icebreaker. The Twitch chat they're gonna love. Anyway, congrats. You know, enjoy the win. And we'll see you next week, Beats.
Yeah. Bye.
Sayonara.
He just does it. Even if he's like contemplating and like baiting you into like, oh, I don't know what to say, Mac. He's just got gems. He's just chucking them out.
Yeah, I didn't, you know, with the term "you put me in a pickle," I thought he might have been saying I was putting him in a pickle, but it just purely was just the greatest icebreaker. Now, we do have a player of the game, and as per usual, it was the man on your screen previously. It was Beats. He did so much work down. Well, I guess all over the Rift, right? Because he was just roaming up a storm, 70% kill participation, and helping all the carries that he had on his team get that gold, get that dub, get another win, and keep them on the top of the leaderboard, Kitty.
40 wards placed. Now that is a good support who has good vision control for these objectives. No wonder why Beats keeps getting these MVPs game after game.
Now, Skimmy, tell me, if you could place 40 wards in a game, when would you do it? Because you play ARAMs and you can't place wards there.
It's a good question. So that's why I play it. Because I don't have to worry about those kind of meaningless stats, do I? Yeah, that's why Kitty's here. Kitty's here to talk about all the wards. Look, I just like to put them in all the different bushes because, you know, I like to say, you know, your teammates are, well, you're the reason we lost. You know, maybe I've got my mic muted and I've been like sweat hard, you know, sweat core, try harding in comms. Everything's been happening. Your jungler dies. You're thinking, man, like, bro, I was just like telling you, and then you realize at the end of the game, oh, my mic was muted. So,
now look, Beats, very selfless man, but someone that's not selfless is whoever got this play of the day. Now, I need you to tell me, what do you think it is?
Ooh.
we had this discussion earlier. It has to be Biopanther dying at Baron for Kevy.
Well,
Respect to Bio.
I hoped for it. I wished for it. Unfortunately, even though that was also another selfless act. Lots of selflessness in the LCO tonight.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Do you have any guesses, Skimmy?
Oh, what else could it be? All I've got, is just Bio's big smile on my face. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now. So
Beautiful.
I'm blank.
Look, Bio was involved, so we'll give you that. But let's have a look at what it is. It's a play of the day, and it was Order with an ace against Gravitas at the Baron. I believe maybe this is where we did see Bio die afterwards, but look at this. Look at the turnaround. So much damage coming through. All those health bars so low. Kisei jumping in with the triple after the knock-up. Big ultimate, big sword on that, man. Woo! And afterwards, of course, it is just the full cleanup. So have a look at this. Bio, this is the selfless act. We did get another glimpse at it. 200 HP, healed a little more than they expected.
I like how
and
Fuma
he's
came
gone.
back. He's like, you're right there?
Calming back, he's like, bro,
Bro?
He's like, oh no. The full face palm definitely deserved the play of the day. A big W for Order and a big smile on the face there for Bio. So you love to see it, Skimmy.
Yeah, you do, absolutely. Big win for them, right? A case of them showcasing that it was a clean game. But like, they can get those sort of like min-max moments because I think that's the right call. If you can afford to do so, right? Make sure that you're maximizing that buff around, combat stats first and foremost. Also, it's really nice, pushing those minion waves too. But
yeah,
that's a moment that they can then, complete their first Super Week on a high note, right? It's a win. It's a funny moment. It's an inside joke that you'll never forget.
Now, there has been a shift in the standings. Let's have a look. Let's bring that leaderboard up and see where the teams currently are at the end of the first Super Week. Now, of course, as you can see, Order jumping up into third, tied up with Pentanet, who couldn't get that dub. And this is starting to get a little bit awkward. You want to know why? Because there's 3 wins between third place and first place, and ties all over the top of the table. But Direwolf solidifying that 5th position as Mammoth dropped down 1 slot. Kangaroo and Gravitas both still on the bottom of the table and looking to find some success, find some victories, and start to work their way up and be in contention for the playoffs. But for now, Kitty, tell me, you're a professional gamer. How the hell does Pentanet and Order catch up to Chiefs and PC?
Not a professional gamer. I just talk. But talking about these power rankings, so we actually see Dials have quite the consistent performance in the past few games. Order going up a rank, being third, tied with PGG after they just lost. Peace and Chi still sitting on top, being first place. But I think if teams continue to perform like this, the playoffs is pretty much settled to be. But obviously games can change and teams can improve. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see what the next 2 Super Weeks have in store for us.
Speaking of, that's it for week 4. Look, the games are done, but the broadcast isn't done yet. We get to have a look into week 5. We get to look into the future to see what is on the menu. 6 p.m, Order and Kanga to kick off the day next Monday. 7 p.m, we got Direwolves and Peace as game number 2. Number 3 down there at 8 p.m, Mammoth and Pentanet. This could be spicy depending on what version of both these teams we see on the day. And then, of course, to end the night, the Chiefs up against Gravitas, which, 1-7 up against someone that's 7-1. It's not looking too good for Gravitas there. I feel like this day is looking kind of stacked in terms of one-sided affairs. Maybe that won't happen. There's a couple of days teams can go and hit the strats, hit the servers, hit the demos, hit everything, make it all happen and try to make something. I don't know. I'm grabbing at straws here. I think it's just going to be a blitz of it, eh, Skimmy?
You're riffing so well, bro. I was just ready to let you go on and on and on and figure your way out of that one. I love that. But yeah, no, there's definitely some interesting talking points here. One that springs to mind for me is the Chiefs game into Gravitas. Last time we saw them do that, if you remember, it was like Tally and Afra going for that 2v2. They both had different ideas, like, hey, I'm going to confirm this kill. Arthur's already working his way towards that next kill. They don't get either. So that was a little bit funny. Yeah.
This is the rematch. Pentanet lost to Mammoth last time.
Yeah.
That was my other point, right? Is then,
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pentanet versus Mammoth is going to be a crazy one, right? Because now you're starting to wonder. I almost feel like if you look at the ladder as it stands right now, you could almost freeze frame it and say that's what playoffs looks like. You could maybe jostle between Direwolves and Mammoth and say who's going to get that 5th spot. But I think for the meantime, it's looking standings-wise pretty consistent.
Yeah, we'll see how competitive it stays. Anything you want to touch on, Kitty, going into those games?
Mac, when you said the matchups were going to be one-sided, I thought you meant because Mammoth is just so OP against PGG. It's just their kryptonite.
That's what I meant. I swear that's what I meant. You know, I never believed in PGG, especially after that performance today. I'm just waiting for their social media manager to clip that and now start some, I don't know, fight with me and one of the players. I'm ready to go. I've got boxing gloves everywhere. Now, speaking of other people, not me, you guys at home, you've sent in some content and I'm so proud of you. Well, one of you. The rest of you, there's like 4,000. Please go work on the content. But let's have a look at what it is. And I believe it is coming in from Lolo, the European in chat. Now, no locals got this done, but it is some solid content. All right, I'm sorry, Mac. We've all been slacking. Have a half-assed Bulldog meme to commemorate that banger interview. See you next week, maybe. Well, hopefully we do. Now, he did say winner chicken dinner, and it's content. You love to see it, and he's a big jacked dog, doge, whatever you want to call it. Kitty, thoughts on this meme?
Is that 10 packs on that Doge? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a... Is that 10 pack? I think there is... This is a rusty question. See, I just know about the 6-pack, and then maybe an 8-pack, and then there's a thing called a backpack, which you can get. But 10, look, that's... You'd have to drop down to some dangerous levels of body fat to get those last couple showing. But look, you know, one day we may all have 6-packs.
I feel like the only way I'm going to get that, Mac, is literally go down to the supermarket, get like the 6 rolls all stacked up together, put it on my top.
The buns?
Yes, get the buns, strap it to my belly, and then be like, yeah, check this out, chiseled.
Maybe we should have a 6-pack day in the following weeks where we all do that and then leave Rusty out because he's probably
That's
just
our cosplay.
got one naturally, and then he can flex on all of us. And we're like, look, ours was just bread, but now, ooh, look at the big man in the house. Either way, that is it for the first Super Week, and I hope you had a super time because I certainly did. There was a whole lot of fun, whole lot of action, a lot of upsets too. We always love those, and we have another Super Week to get to. So enjoy the end of your week, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you on Monday for much more LCO goodness.
Nice and early, he needs backup from the rest of his team. Where can they find it? They can't. Tally just hits with the ult button. You're outplayed and you're gone. Now the fight still working in Chiefs' favor as Rage has already got a double. Make it a triple. There is the ace. They don't have eyes on it right now. Beautiful explosive cast there from nobody. Out goes the hero's entrance. Can they find a talk? They've removed Kevy. The moonfall does not matter this time. Corporal's in trouble. He goes out of stasis, comes in with a hook, and may just walk away with it. A double kill for Puma.
Oh, they're waiting for Kevy to actually spawn to take... Oh!
No, Why? Well, Corporal might just die. He wishes he had those Zonias right now, but he doesn't. But he's living a whole lot longer. He hits the W, gets the shoot. He's actually going to get away with it. The fight gets won by the rest of his team, but Puma is assassinated. Does it really matter? Yes, you've got 1k bounty shut down. You still have to deal with this Yasuo, who just gets a triple.
Carthage is still alive. So they want to look for a fight where they turn.
TP, they haven't spotted him just yet. He's got all the options in the world right now. Jumps in, the focus is Bulldog. Maybe not who you want. He's now just been ulted. He's just dead. The lights go out, and the direwolves pounce. Into darkness they go. And kills they find. Kanga can't answer back. They'll kill your Nocturne. Ooh. And they might find 2.
PGG does not have those sums available. He steals it.
He's stolen it. He's picked up that blue buff. Thank you very much for that one. Balkanus is going to get slotted as well. Hit the white flag because that's first blood. Dashing away there from what could have been the beats engaged. Given Stipe will not connect on this occasion. Flashing forward, Yuri, the Vanguard's edge, looking for the reset.